Okay. Very good evening to everyone. We are starting first time, basically from Aquadoctor Solution and EOC Kolkata, funded by NFDB and managed Government of India. We are starting a series of program, 30 Sunday, 30 speaker, 30 topics. Throughout the globe, we are trying to invite the experts on these sessions. And our objective is that during this COVID pandemic situation, those people are here around, they can start this kind of activities as a entrepreneurship, as a, to try to understand this, basically the fish and the aquaculture farming sector in a long run. So in this process, we have started this particular events on the webinar on 45-minute session for addressing on very burning issues on aquaculture and fisheries. So today, luckily, is our first session, and today we with us we have my beloved friend Mohammad Iftakharul Alam from Bangladesh. He's also a district fisheries officer in Bangladesh, in a very progressive district, and he's also a PhD research fellow in Wageningen University, Netherlands, working on very important topics, and today he will be discussing about that particular topic. But before that, I start the session, I want to be just tell you some of the important parts why today we have invited Mr. Mohammad Iftakharul Alam on particular topic to be addressed out here, is because we understand that during this Yaas cyclone, many of the farmers of Bay of Bengal, especially Indian side like West Bengal, Orissa, and also in Bangladesh, Khulna and other sides, they got suffered from this kind this Yaas cyclone very drastically, and they have their farms get washed out, and they have lose their stocks, and they don't have even now funds to start their shrimp culture, which is a very profitable venture for particular this zone. So today, Mr. Mohammad Iftakharul Alam will be addressing one important topic. Topic is how can we can use, mangrove leaves litter as a feed supplement for our shrimp farming. So without further delay, I like to be take this privilege to welcome Mohammad Iftakharul Alam from Bangladesh to address our sessions with without any further delay, please.
Thank you, Barman. Thank you very much for inviting me as the very beginning of your different session. And you already introduced me, but I want to introduce myself that I am working for the government of Bangladesh for like 16 years. Now I am the district fisheries officer of the Bangladesh government. But now I am doing my PhD in Wageningen University, which is one of the which is the best agriculture university in the world, and I am working on the silvo aquaculture. Silvo aquaculture is a not new term for the Southeast Asia, because many countries, like Philippines, Indonesia, are practicing that. And but this is the first time in Bangladesh, because you already have mentioned that the very how can I say, we have faced the Yaas, and every year India, Bangladesh, especially the coastal region of this Southeast Asia, India, and Bangladesh faces a lot of cyclones, and everybody knows that the Sundarbans, which is in share with India, Bangladesh, this is the world's largest single tract of mangrove forest, and this work as a safeguard from this cyclones. And as this mangrove forest or as a safeguard from different natural disaster, and this why. And another thing is that shrimp culture is very important in view of economic return, and sometimes the mangrove is cleared for the shrimp culture. That's why Bangladesh is going to introduce introduce silvo aquaculture. With this silvo aquaculture, we can continue the shrimp culture, and we can introduce different mangrove species in the shrimp pond that act as a natural feed supplier, because we know that mangrove is the nursery ground for the shrimp PL or fisheries. It is called the fisheries reservoir, natural reservoir. That's why we are going to introduce silv aquaculture, and I am doing some research to introduce the mangrove tree species in the dike of the shrimp farms, so that we can plant the mangrove trees on the pond dike. We can regain the loss of mangrove. We can continue the shrimp culture, and there is a clash between the shrimp farmer and the ecologist. And with the silv aquaculture, we can compromise, or we can negotiate between the shrimp farmer and the mangrove species. I have a short presentation so that we can say something about my research and what is the simple findings. I have four experiment. I want to say something about the first experiment, which is already published in the aquaculture, the recent publication and the recent edition. And if you permit, then I can go for the presentation.
Yeah. Please, please.
Can you see?
Yes, yes, please.
Thank you, Aquadoctor Solution, for the arrangement. And you see that if you see that you find here that the nutrients and anti-nutrients in the leaf litter of 4 selected mangrove species from the Sundarban, Bangladesh, and their effect on the shrimp. This shrimp is Phineas monodon, and I am the PhD candidate. Mr. Dolphy, Professor Nazmul is working as a supervisor, and Mark, a renowned aquaculture, is working as my supervisor. If you say already, I have said something background that shrimp culture is the most profitable business, and this is the second export item in Bangladesh. And but to.
Yes, Ifti.
Hello, sorry, another cyclone, a small cyclone already started here, and there was interruption of the energy. And I have started already my hotspot for the new Wi-Fi connection. So
Please, you can start from beginning itself then. Please go ahead.
Can you see?
Yeah, please start from beginning, Ifti. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the scientific presentation, what we did in our research to save the mangrove and to continue the shrimp culture. And we identified the nutrients and anti-nutrients in leaf litter of the emerging mangrove species, and we identified its effect on the shrimp post larvae. And as I have said about the background, that the shrimp culture is the most profitable business, and it is one of the emerging export item. That is the second export item for Bangladesh. That's why the farmers prefer for shrimp culture. And for the shrimp culture, the shrimp farmers clear the mangrove. You already have seen that one of the mangrove forests like Chakaria Sundarban, which was in Cox's Bazar, is totally cleared for the shrimp culture, which is a ecological disaster actually. And that's why there is a conflict between the ecologist and shrimp cultivator. But we know that mangrove is a highly productive ecosystem. The leaf litter of this mangrove fall in the and decompose and provide some nutrients to the water column and stimulate the productivity. As there is a positive impact of the leaf, so there is an option for the silvoaquaculture, where we can integrate the mangrove and the shrimp together. And some countries you see that Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, and Myanmar, Malaysia, they are practicing this type of culture system to integrate both mangrove and shrimp. And in Bangladesh, this is actually new, and I am doing the research for the introduction of silvoaquaculture in my country. And if you see that there is a farm where the farmers is planting the mangrove trees under a project, and I identified that impact. The trees are already now bigger in size, the leaf litter are matured and falling in the water. What was our objective? Objective was we identified what was the nutritional, and there are also some anti-nutritional component in the leaf litter like tannin, phytate, and saponin, which is not good for the shrimp or fish. We identified both of them. And then we calculated the decomposition rate. That is, what is the mass loss of the leaf, how much contributed on during the nursery period of leaf. And then we identified what is the impact on the water quality, because the water quality plays the vital role for the shrimp performances. Then we identified and compared the survival growth for shrimp in both presence of mangrove and without mangrove. Previously, we identified 10 mangrove species from the Sundarban mangrove forest, which are really good for the silvoaquaculture. From that, we identified 4 mangrove species, which are very common in the Bangladesh coastal side, and which the proposals are available for the planting. The farmers can get easily. The Abyssinia, officinalis, Apital, Sonaresia apitala, Cassiolaris, and Hericiera forms. Hericiera forms is the Sundari, by which the Sundarban is named. And then we collected the leaf litter by drafts, and we make 2 parts. One part was the analysis of nutrient and anti-nutrient leaf litter, and the second part we put this leaf litter in the tank, and we identified the impact. And in the laboratory, you see that I am doing the experiments to identify the proximate composition like energy, crude fiber, ash, organic matter, then carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus. We calculated the carbon nitrogen ratio, and we also identified the antinutritional factors like tannin, phytate, and saponin, which is not good for the shrimp or fish. Then you see there is a tank setup in the pond site to do the experiment to see the shrimp performances. We have 30 tanks, and we put the leaf litter in the tanks, and we identified the impact. Here you see the result. I will not discuss I will give some key points like if you see these 4 mangrove species, we see that there is a significant differences between the mangrove species in content of energy, crude fiber, or ash, and organic matter. So we after the advancement, we see that crude fiber actually have a great effect on the decomposition rate, actually, which help to contribute to produce the phytoplankton and zooplankton by the decomposition of leaf litter. And we identified the carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, and CN ratio. We also found that there is a significant differences between the species for this nutrient content. And when we identified the anti-nutrients, then we see that there was no significant differences between these 4 species. And from that, we calculated the decomposition rate, that is the mass loss decomposition rate. We see that Abyssinia officinalis has the highest decomposition rate, that is the leaf litter decomposed higher than other 3 species. And Sundari, like Hericiera forms, was the lowest in decomposition rate. And we also calculated again what is the contribution of these 4 types of leaf litter to the tank to produce a natural feed supplement. And after 4 weeks, we also calculated the nutrient and anti-nutrient. And if here you see the water quality parameters, which we measure day to day, and if you can focus, we can see that there is a significant differences in biological oxygen demand. Like Sonarisia apitella showed highest biological oxygen demand, and the decomposition rate also higher. And this also help the water body to produce more phytoplankton in the water body. And if we go further, that we can, there was a control where we did not apply any leaf or feed. Then we see that the shrimp PL started diet on and at the day 8, all the shrimp PL diet. This proves that the leaf litter contributed to produce some natural feed for shrimp, because we didn't use any supplementary feed for this experiment. And if we see that the survival rate also was good. And we see that Sonarisia apitella showed the highest survival rate. And there the survival rate range between 76 to 84 or 85%. This proves that the leaf litter is doing something for the tank. And this weight gain, we see that there is some weight gain in the shrimp. That is, the shrimp PL gets some food from the decomposition of leaf litter and from the phytoplankton, which is the primary food for the shrimp PL. We see that there is a significant differences between the 4 species, and we can say like that the mangrove species contribute different for the weight gain of shrimp PL. And Hericiera forms, if we can remember, we can see that the decomposition rate was lower. That is, the Hericiera forms was producing less food. That is, the weight gain is lower. But the apitella I don't know what is called in Bangla in India, but in our country it is Keura, like the Sonaracea apitala, and it's contributed highest weight gain. That is, it produce more food. And if you see the decomposition of crude fiber, what I said earlier, the crude fiber content of the leaf actually plays a vital role, because the highest content of crude fiber, the lowest decomposition rate. And if you see that the biological oxygen demand also correlated with the decomposition rate, the decomposition rate increased and the biological oxygen demand also increased. And if you say the phytoplankton, the mass loss of leaf litter, that is, the more the decomposition, more the phytoplankton. And this is actually internal mechanism which help to produce the feed supplement. That is the natural feed supplement for the sheep. And you see that the highest the phytoplankton, highest the growth. And you see these 4 bar actually shows the significant differences between the weight gain, and there are the significant differences also in the content of the phytoplankton concentration. Actually, what are our conclusion from this experiment? Nutrient and anti-nutrient content of mangrove leaf litter differs between the species, and the decomposition rate of mangrove leaf litter differs twofold between the species. The decomposition mangrove leaves stimulate availability of natural food for sheep PLs. Mass loss of mangrove leaf litter correlates positively with PL survival and production. And we ranked these 4 species we worked, and we recommended farmers to plant Sonaracea apitala first, then Avicennia officinalis, then Sonaracea cacellaris, and they are less important for Hericiera forms to plant to their pond. Actually, these findings help the farmer to select the mangrove species so that they can get some encourages from the experiment. Because when I did experiment, there are some farmers practically they have seen that what is actually happening in my tanks with the leaf litter. I am not using any feed, but there is some good survival and weight gain of sheep. So that as in we know that in Bangladesh or in India, in case of traditional culture, they actually don't use any feed. But if they use this mechanism of experiment, and if they plant some mangrove trees, though there are some questions, what would be the forest or plantation ratio, what would be the mechanism of controlling decomposition rate, there are some more experiment on that. But if we say like flat that the mangrove species actually playing some vital role for the production of natural feed for the shrimp farmer, and that would encourage the shrimp farmer to produce some natural feed and to plant trees on their pond dike. I think this would negotiate between the ecologist and the shrimp farmers, that this is the integration, and farmers clear mangrove for shrimp culture, but this experiment would encourage the farmer not to clear but to plant the mangrove trees. Hello.
Yes, Ifti, I will request you stop down your screen sharing so that we can come into the main thing.
I need to minimize something like that.
You can stop screen sharing. Yes, you can just check it down. Okay. Thank you so much, Ifti. Your discussion and your finding was very useful, and also it shows that how can we can encourage, mangrove and shrimp farming together. We always believe that most of the areas in Sundarban and most of the shrimp farming zone where mangrove used to be there before, nowadays we cut the mangrove, we do the shrimp farming there, and later on,
Yeah.
which we invite basically such kind of cyclone, which we can just saw the last week only, the year cyclone which happened in our ecosystems. So this research finding is going to be a very good finding in coming days, how best we can use our mangrove plantations, not only for our ecology conservations, and also in terms of how best we can reduce the shrimp production costing, because we understand that in shrimp farming, feed cost plays a very major role. And most of the farmers, they don't get good price due to this, higher amount of feed cost investment, the input cost, they are running out. So in your presentation, you have very clearly mentioned about your findings and all. I have 3 questions to you, very simple questions, so that my audience who are there and who are also following us in our Facebook Live, and later on also your presentation video also will come to our website also in a video series, so that other people also can listen us later on. For that, I just like to ask you 3 questions. How you suggest farmers that before they start shrimp farming, what kind of mangrove plantation they can go ahead, and also in how many days interval they can go with 3 to 4 mangrove varieties you are mentioning. So if you just tell the period of time, it will be much more easy for us to understand, please.
Yeah, actually we selected the mangrove species based on the local availability, because there are a lot of mangrove, but most of them are not suitable for the shrimp culture. There are some mangrove which are being practiced some other countries in the part of Asia like Philippines, Indonesia, and some other countries. We selected that, and from there we selected actually 4 mangrove species which are really available in the local area, and we suggested the farmers to plant the mangrove, because it will take some time, because we also need to calculate the falling rate, because we know that the long decomposition, like long time decomposition in the soil, is also not good for the shrimp.
Yeah.
But they have to find out some mechanism. We need to suggest them what would be the falling rate of the leaf litter, how much mangrove tree is needed for their shrimp farm. That is another part of experiment, because I mentioned only the positive impact or negative impact. We found positive impact. Now we need to find out the way so that we can compromise with the leaf litter falling rate, because if the density of the trees are high, then lot of mangrove trees, lot of decomposition, then that is not good for water quality. Yeah. We can suggest that what would be the density of the leaf litter. We already know that the per cubic meter falling rate from some other research, and now we are incorporating that the falling rate and the number of tree species, so that farmer can get benefit from the shrimp farm. And we already suggested the farmers to plant the series of mangrove trees. When the trees become bigger in size, then also they can manage their trees by cutting some trees and to maintain the number of trees, so that they can get the positive impact. And every year also we suggest the farmer that you need to clear your mangrove bottom, pond bottom, so that the decomposed leaf litter is out. Okay. Otherwise, also there is a long-term sequence of negative impact of their shrimp performances.
Okay.
But one thing, if there is a sluice gate like canal system, then the management is easier, because then there is a difference between the running water and the closed water. Yeah.
Okay. So this is first questions. You explained very nicely. Second question is like how we can use that leaf litter and this mangrove leaves as a source of feed. You have mentioned some of your research finding on the PL stage. How we can use it, like what kind of mechanism, or maybe how the preparation of the feed, how you start the preparation of the feed, that process, if you explain and highlight little bit, will be great.
Yeah, we actually, I can first answer on question of from the participants, or where we can find get this research paper. You can find this research paper on the aquaculture. That is the 542nd volume, and it is open access, so you can download my research paper and you can read. Everything is there. And what you mentioned, that actually we use the PL15, that is the 15 days old, and we put the PL in the tank, and we collected the senescent leaves, that is the freshly fallen leaves from the Sundarbans, and we directly introduce in the tank, because the leaf litter directly fall in the water body and directly impact on the water quality and shrimp performances. And the main mechanism was the what I mentioned earlier, that is the decomposition rate, and the composition of crude fiber mainly play a vital role. The highest crude fiber, the lowest decomposition rate, and we showed that the leaf litter with low fiber content have higher decomposition rate, and within the 4 week of nursery period, they give the best growth of natural feed like phytoplankton, zooplankton, or other powerful, so that they get some natural feed from the mangrove leaf litter. And one thing is very important, that shrimp are actually, there is a cannibalism, you know, that they eat each other. When there is some mangrove leaf, then there is also good shelter for the shrimp tail, shrimp post larvae, and that's saved themselves from the cannibalism and gave a good survival rate. Thank you.
And third questions, not the least one, how you think that your finding is going to help our Indian and Bangladesh shrimp farmers who are doing the shrimp farming in the coastal areas in a long run? What is your view, and how your research can be a, kind of a end product to them, so that they can use your research finding as a product of protocols by which they can reduce the shrimp farming input cost, along with also they can bring down the best ecology in our Sundarban zone?
Yeah, everybody knows that Bangladesh, in share with India, represent the largest single tract of mangrove forest. That is very important. The Yaas or the Ayla or some other cyclones reminded us that Sundarbans is actually a safeguard. So we should save the Sundarbans. The coastal region of Bangladesh, like the West Bengal, the Odisha, we work together to save our Sundarban, to save ourselves. That's why we suggest the farmers, don't cut your mangrove, but you can plant. Like yesterday we planted, because it was the World Environment Day.
Yes.
Everybody planted at least one tree. Me myself also planted one tree in my university, and then we suggest our farmers, in this you can plant some mangrove trees like Sonarsia apitala. I don't know what said in India. It's in Bangladesh, it's a keura, like the fruits.
In keura only, also we say that keura also tree.
Keura, it has a very nice fruits. We can also use this keura fruits in our cooking procedure, like the cereals, like if in our region it's a dal. I don't know what is said in Calcutta or the West Bengal. It's cereals, like we can cook by these fruits. That is very tasty. We can make some chips and some chutney with this types, and jelly with this keura fruits, and that and also another similar species is Sonarsia cassiolaris, which is called ura in our country. Somebody says soila, like this, and this is also edible fruits. And if the farmers plant some this type of mangrove trees surrounding their pond, that is very helpful for the shrimp, because these fruits also contain, sometimes we say that vitamin C, which is very good for the shrimp. Aquaductor solution also, I think, work with the vitamins. So that's leaf litter and that's fruits. Both are very positive and important for the shrimp, which is the important culture in the coastal region, like Benami or Monodon, both. I did my research with Monodon, but I think the Benami almost the same characteristics. They can get also some positive impact from this type of plant. And I suggest the farmers, please don't cut the mangrove, but especially you can plant Sonaracia apitala or Sonaracia cassiolaris like Keura and Ura in your pond dike. That will preserve that will fulfill your purpose of ecological perspective. That will supply oxygen for you. That will help you the carbon sequestration, and that will help you to supply the red carbon another term, and that will help your shrimp in the pond to grow better by supplying some natural foods for your shrimp, as well as minimizing the implication of more feed, which is not good for our shrimp culture, for the sustainable development of this culture system.
Okay, Ifti, thank you so much for your time, and we try our level best to promote such kind of eco-friendly technology in aquaculture, because we understand India and Bangladesh, we are the fish eaters, and we are the, if you see in the global map also, our percentage of people involved in fisheries is much more higher rate. And we think such kind of research activities from your side and such kind of research findings will help us in a long run. And also we can see that how best our farmers can harness the beauty of mangroves and the mangroves and utility in the as a supplementary feed practicing in the shrimp farming methods. Thank you once again from Aquadoctor Solution side, and also the audience side, that you have tried your level best to bring down your research into a small down way.
Thank you, Bormon. I want to add one thing, that this is the starting of my research, because a research have a vast field, because this is the starting. I have started this research. I have another 3 parts of my PhD that is more advancement, which I think I have another publication is going to be published, I think, in aquaculture within very few days. And I have more and more research question to introduce these types of new culture system in our country. And I think after completion of all the research findings, we can give a specific question answer to our farmers, which is fruitful for their shrimp culture.
Yes, and also
thank you very much.
Yeah, and we are also looking forward to collaborate with you, especially for the India in the coastal areas, because in Sundarban, also in West Bengal, we are also working on different aspects of shrimps. And I think your findings can show us a long way of light to bringing down our farmers into a good productive zone. And before we end, I just like to address our audience that please be with us with Aquadoctor Solutions. We are coming up with every Sunday different topics from different part of the globe. And coming Sunday, Dr. Professor Mohan Krishna sir, who is a very familiar face in Indian fisheries industry, he will be also addressing us every Sunday. 5 to 5:45 in the evening, we'll be coming up into these live sessions on different aspects of fisheries and aquaculture. Till then, be safe yourself, maintain Karuna guidelines, and save yourself and safeguard your family as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ifti, from your time as well. Thank you. Thank you.